So I did a little bit of laundry by hand. Now I'm just sitting here chilling. It just occurred to me like one of the reasons I started going so hard in the paint publicly years ago for brown and dark skinned black women, after years of like kind of like being kind of afraid and ashamed to do it on public platforms for fear of getting bullied and ridiculed and harassed or whatever, one of the reasons I started going hard in the paint is not just because I wanted to see better for women that kind of look like me. And I wanted to see like a more positive representation and a blueprint. I feel like I also started doing it because like where I come from, like my environment, people at school, even certain family members, I wasn't really taught to embrace brown and dark skinned women. And again, if you guys see me, like, so I'm not fair skinned. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with being fair skinned or in between or dark skinned. Let me just get that out of the way. But I wasn't always like, this supportive. I used to be real ignorant. And I feel like because of my environment and the things that I had to deal with growing up, and even from certain family members, don't start, kid. Once my father passed away, it's like people just couldn't wait to, pinpoint how big my lips were and how black I was. And this happened a lot. Almost every time certain people had a disagreement with me or got frustrated, you know what I'm saying? And in hindsight, sometimes I don't even think it was anything that I was doing or saying. It was just, people just didn't approve of me. And it was crazy to have somebody in your family that is supposed to be like your caregiver. So they're supposed to uplift you and teach you how to love yourself. They're supposed to teach you how to build confidence and stuff like that. And every time they turn around, they break in your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't realize what they're doing, it still don't make it right. Could you lay on your side? It don't make it right. Anyways, people don't understand the journey that I had to go through in order to start embracing certain things about myself that I was taught to dislike or hate. And it rubbed off on other black girls, like people from school, even my neighbors, like because of what I seen with certain colorist adults in my own family, I started behaving that way. And sometimes I really do think I hated dark-skinned girls. I really do think I hated some of them. And sometimes I wasn't always that fond of dark-skinned boys because they was the main ones to tease me. Hey! Excuse me, but I had to handle something with one of my pets. Anyway. But in my family, it's just like a lot of the black women loved dark-skinned males, like full features, 4C hair, but they hated the girls. And so, I think sometimes I hated or I just really disliked other dark-skinned girls. You know what I'm saying? And I think as I grew older and I saw how toxic it was, and when I had to deal with it from the brothers or whatever, I used to ask myself, what do I stand to gain from disliking other black females that are in close proximity to me as far as skin and phenotype and hair texture is concerned. Like, how does it help me? How does it help other black girls? So slowly but surely, even when it wasn't really popular to do so, I would try to root for. I would try to root for the dark skinned sisters that were like kind of like shy and like awkward. You know what I'm saying? I would try to root for some of them, especially if I saw them getting bullied or not able to sit at certain tables, not welcome in certain spaces. I tried to be more supportive. I didn't make it too obvious that I was trying to be more supportive because they were dark skinned and had full features. I didn't make that part that obvious, but I started trying to, even when it wasn't that popular. And then later on, I got online, and slowly but surely, I started to feel more and more comfortable openly and publicly expressing my support for unapologetically brown and dark-skinned black women. So when people see me do that, and for folks who may have not noticed, I have scaled back, like pumping my fist for brown and dark skinned women. I have scaled back tremendously doing it so publicly, so boldly and publicly. And the main reason is because, like, for my safety, for my sanity. It be so many people that just get offended. So I don't make it that obvious these days. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always happy to see a happy, healthy, chocolate sister that's in shape and happily in a relationship, whether it's with a brother or whether it's with a man that's not black. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like my inner child needed to see that growing up. Needed to see it more often. Anyhow, yeah, so people don't understand. I wasn't always real super duper supportive of brown and dark skinned girls. And sometimes I feel like I hated them to death. Sometimes. And then later on, like, I think that energy will be directed towards whoever would crap on black girls. Irrespective of their gender or their sex. That hate, like I hate you to death, or I really don't care about anything that happens to you. Like, if I know that you was toxic, if I know you was colorist and misogynistic, that energy would get redirected or distributed, like distribute or whatever. I'm saying it right. Yeah, it's just like I don't like for people to put me in a position where that energy comes back. Because sometimes I would hold my tongue and just try to pretend I love people that made it clear they wasn't feeling me and they wasn't feeling black girls like me. And people don't understand the pain and humiliation that comes from that type of Stockholm syndrome. Like, no matter how much you tell me my lips is too big and I'm too black and I'm too this and I'm not attractive enough or whatever, or you don't like my hair texture, or you comparing me to other girls, I'm still going to love you. If something happened to you, I'm still going to rock with you. And that type of supporting people who make it obviously blatant that they can't stand you, that'll make you start to hate yourself, and eventually you'll explode. You'll blow up on people. Because you're like, I'm rooting for you, I'm one of your biggest cheerleaders. Anything bad happened to you, anything racist happened to you, I'm here, and to keep getting dismissed or keep getting told you ain't good enough, keep getting compared to women that look nothing like you. You know what I'm saying? Just keep, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times this is happening from my peers. And a lot of times they don't mind it in front of people that are not black. It's painful. Especially if you come from a household where you was raised that, like, basically, like, black males is like the cream of the crop. and for the most part, they can't really do no wrong. Especially like let's just say if they are an athlete and attractive, and or if they rich, like they really just can't do no wrong. Even when sometimes they end up wrong. Like you being raised to feel like they're more important than you by default, which is another reason why for a long time I couldn't stand other black girls. And it went from when I was young, when I was a toddler, I didn't care what color my baby was, or I didn't care if I had a dark skinned doll baby. To slowly but surely, I preferred a baby that was lighter and lighter. I preferred a doll baby that was lighter and lighter. And then when I became a preteen and a teenager, I wanted a baby that was light. For a time. It was a time where I didn't mind if my baby was dark, particularly if I had a boy. But if I had a girl, I didn't want a dark skinned girl. I didn't want to have a birth of another human being to go through the things that black people put me through. And there's certain things that I was embarrassed to talk about that I dealt with my family for a long time. And it obviously wasn't everybody in my family, but like the people that I spent most of my childhood around, some of them, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're discontent. They're how can I say this? Dislike and disapproval and preference. Like I feel like it went beyond the preference. I just feel like it was just like certain people didn't get over things in their youth. They never really was educated on how to love their own authentic self, their own authentic blackness, and they took it out on the most vulnerable. Children are very impressionable, so I was I didn't deal with this while my father was alive, but I only was around him for like 4 years. After that, it was just like